Hi artists! Today we're going to do a project I like to call the Piggy in the Puddle, and I got the idea for this project from a book called The Piggy in the Puddle, and we are going to read that together on this video in just a minute. But first, let me show you what you're going to need today. A piece of paper and a pencil and an eraser, so that way when we're drawing out our pig we can erase it if we make a mistake. And you will also need something to color with, and you can choose what you want to use. You can use crayons or markers or colored pencils. You can also use paint. If you need to pause the video and go get your supplies, that's fine. Before we get started creating, let's take a look at the book that gave me the idea for this project. The Piggy in the Puddle. Words by Charlotte Pomerantz. Pictures by James Marshall. The Piggy in the Puddle. To the puddle. See the piggy, see the puddle, see the muddy little puddle. See the piggy in the middle of the muddy little puddle. See her dawdle, see her diddle, in the muddy, muddy middle. See her waddle, plump and little, in the very merry middle. See her daddy, fuddy-duddy, fuddy-duddy, fuddy-duddy. Don't you get all muddy, 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 muddy. You are much too plump and little to be in the muddy middle. Mud is squishy, mud is squashy. Mud is oh so squishy, squashy. What you need is lots of soap. But the piggy answered, squishy, squashy, squishy, squashy. Nope. See her mommy, fiddle, faddle, fiddle, faddle, fiddle, faddle. Get out of there, ski-daddle. Daddle, 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 daddle. You are much too plump and little to be in the muddy middle. Mud is mushy, mud is squooshy. Mud is oh so mushy, squooshy. What you need is lots of soap. But the piggy answered, mushy, squooshy, mushy, squooshy, nope. See her brother, silly Billy, silly Billy, silly Billy. Do not waddle willy-nilly, willy-nilly, willy-nilly. You are much too plump and little to be in the muddy middle. Mud is oofy, mud is poofy, mud is oh so oofy poofy. What you need is lots of soap. But the piggy answered, oofy poofy, oofy poofy, nope. Now they all stood in a huddle right beside the muddy puddle, and they looked into the puddle. What a muddy, muddy muddle. There was Piggy plump and little in the very merry middle. She was waddling, she was paddling, she was diving way down dairy. She was wiggling, she was giggling, she was very, very merry. Said the mother, little piggy, you have made me very mad. Said the father, little piggy, you have made me very sad. Little piggy, said the brother, you are very, very bad. Said the piggy, squishy, squashy, mooshy, squooshy, very bad. Dear, oh dear, said Piggy's mother, what's a mother pig to do? She thought and thought and thought and thought, and then of course she knew. She said, I bet my feet get wet, and jumped in too. See two piggies in the puddle, in the muddy little puddle. See the piggy and her mommy in the muddy little puddle. Me oh my, said Piggy's father. What's a father pig to do? He thought and thought and thought and thought, and then of course he knew. He said, I bet my tail gets wet, and jumped in too. See three piggies in the puddle, in the muddy little puddle. See mommy, daddy, piggy in the muddy little puddle. Boo-hoo-hoo, cried Piggy's brother. Whatever shall I do? He thought, but not for very long, because of course he knew. He held his nose and yelled, here goes, and jumped in too. See four piggies in the puddle, in the muddy little puddle. See the piggies in the middle of the muddy little puddle. See them diddle, big and little, in the very merry middle. Said the daddy, mud is squishy, mud is oh so squishy, squashy. Said the mommy, mud is mushy, mud is oh so mushy, squishy. Said the brother, Mud is oofy, mud is oh so oofy poofy, said the piggy, squishy squashy, mushy squishy, oofy poofy. Indeed, said little piggy, I think we need some soap. But the other piggies answered, oofy poofy, nope. So they all dove way down dairy and were very, very merry. The end. So let's get our paper and your pencil and your eraser, and we're going to start drawing our pig. Go ahead and point to the middle of your paper, and we know it's the middle because there's an equal amount of space on either side. And we're going to want to put his head about over here, so not in the middle. We're just going to do that by drawing a circle. We don't want to make our circle too big or too small because we want to be able to draw the face inside, but we also want to have extra space to put things in our background. We're going to draw the body of our pig. We're going to start about right there and come around like this with an oval shape. We want to make this oval bigger than his head, like that. So now we have our pig's head and we have our pig's body. To draw his face, we're going to start by drawing a circle right in the middle of our other circle. And we're going to put 2 lines in that circle. So that will be his snout, and those 2 lines will be his nostrils so he can breathe. Next we're going to do his eyes, and we're going to draw 2 ovals, 1 oval on one side and 1 oval on the other side. His face is symmetrical, so if we put an eye over here, we'll put an eye over here. Put a curved line inside of each eye to draw his pupil or iris. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in with my pencil, but then later on I could use a crayon or marker, whatever you're using to color your pig in. And then I'm going to give him a nice smiley face by putting a curved line like that. Maybe I'll put a couple of curved lines like that for his cheeks. If you want to, you could have a little tongue sticking out, or you could have another curved line like that. Make it look like his mouth is open. Open and he's laughing. I'm going to give him some ears, 1 on each side, because his face is symmetrical. And I'm going to draw his ear by starting with a rectangle. Now pigs don't have rectangles ears, do they? Nope. But if this was, say, how your pig's ear was shaped, it folds down like that. So in order to draw that flap, we're going to start at the top point and come down to the corner on the other side of our rectangle like that. Now it looks like his ear is kind of folded over. We're going to make his ear like that on the other side. The rectangle, and then we're going to connect one corner to the other corner with a diagonal line. Here we go. So now it looks like he has 2 folded over ears. Now we're going to give him some legs too, 4 legs. I'm going to start with his front leg here by just starting from his body and drawing a line down like that. You could leave that line for his leg, but then his legs would be too skinny to hold his body when he walked. So I'm going to make it thicker by drawing a horizontal line coming from there and then going up again. So now we have kind of a rectangle shape. Put a line down there too. I'm going to come over just a little bit and put another rectangle shape for his other leg. Now I'm going to leave a little bit more space right there because that's going to be where his belly is. And then I'm going to draw his 2 back legs. 1 back leg, and I'm going to put his other one over here. We can't forget one more thing. Our pig needs a curly pigtail. There we go. Nice loop-de-loop line. Actually, I think I'm going to make that. Put that in a different spot. I sure am glad I used my eraser think I'm going to put it coming off right there. Now, if you can't erase and you don't like where your tail is, I'm sure it looks just fine. There we have our pig. Now, the pig in the book was having, all of the pigs were having a lot of fun playing in the mud. And I like to have fun drawing my mud. So I'm going to get my brown crayon, but you could use a marker, paint, or colored pencils, and I'm going to put the mud around my pig. And I'm just going to do that by have a lot of fun by making some scribble marks. And you'll notice this is kind of a round shape that I'm scribbling in. It looks like he's just splashing in the mud. Here we go. And I'm also going to put some muddy spots up here. He might have some mud on his ear, mud on his belly. There you go. There, that pig looks like he's really having fun in the mud. Now, in the illustrations, which are the pictures in a book, there was some trees in the background, there was a bucket and some soap, but you can draw whatever you would like in the background. There's another story that I've heard called The Three Little Pigs, where the big bad wolf comes, and I think that if a wolf were to come to my pig's picture, I would like for him to be protected by a house. So I'm going to draw a house over here. Now, of course, that would be a brick house. So if the wolf came and tried to blow his house down, he would be safe. And I'm going to make a house by putting a rectangle shape like that, or a square. Mine's looks a little bit more like a square. And then I'm going to put a triangle on top. And then I'll use some rectangle and square shapes for the windows and doors. Like I said, I wanted this to be a brick house. If you want to, you can add some lines like this for the brick details, but you don't have to do that. So I would make some horizontal lines, jumping over the doors and windows. I don't want to draw my lines through those. And then after I draw all of those horizontal lines for the different layers of bricks, I would put some vertical lines like this too for my bricks. Bricks are kind of like building blocks, aren't they? Now I know that my pigs are going to be safe and sound in case the wolf comes. There we go. I think, you know what? I have enough room. I might go ahead and put a bucket and some soap down here. I'm going to make my bucket by drawing a square shape, and then I'm going to put a curved line at the top from one side to the other. And that looks kind of like a half circle, doesn't it? Now remember, if I get going too fast, to pause the video. There's going to be my bucket, and then I'm going to put a little rectangle down here for soap. And if you have room and you want to try, you can even write the word soap in that on that soap bar. That's S-O-A-P. You can pause the video if you'd like to. You could just put an S or nothing, and you'll know that it's soap. I'm going to put some flowers, and you can put whatever you want in your picture. You don't have to put flowers. If you want, you could put some trees. I'm going to do flowers just by putting some little bubbles like that and some lines. There we go. I'm going to draw one more line from one side of my paper all the way to the other side, and that's the horizon line. So that's where the sky meets the ground. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to draw a line to where my house is, but I don't want to draw that line through my house, so I'm going to jump over. I'm going to draw that line until I hit my pig, and then I'm going to jump over my pig, and then I'll draw that line to the edge of the page. I think I might put a little tiny tree in the back there too. Not too big. There we go. And if you want to add anything else, you can. You might have, if you made your pig smaller, you would have more room in the back. Now we do have room to put something in the sky, so how about a sun? We'll make a circle, and I bet we could put some clouds. If it rained, that rain might have been what made this mud puddle. I think I'm all done drawing for now. So now I'm going to color my picture in. You can use whatever colors you want. You can make rainbow pig. I've seen, you can see I'm using pink. You could also use brown or black. I think pigs come in all different colors. Brown, black, white. And then, like I said, you can always do a rainbow pig. That's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and use a pink. And when I go to color in my brick house, I'm going to use kind of a red color too. And I'm going to try and fill up my picture with color. I like to do that. Now, I think I'm going to fast forward the video so that you can see me finish coloring, but it won't take as long. If you want to pause the video though, you can do that if you need to look at my picture to help get some ideas. So I'm going to speed that up right here. And that's my piggy in a puddle. I hope you guys had fun doing this project. If you get a chance, just take a picture of your artwork and upload it to Canvas for me. I'd love to see your finished art. And thank you. I hope you have a great day.